Okay, so today we're going to be making this Pokeball, and I'm going to give you the template for this code. You can see that I've added a few things. So, number one is that we have the imports here, we have some window settings. I'm going to separate these out actually, just so it's easier. There we go. Okay, we have the screen width, screen height, and then we have X and Y, which is the center of the screen. Speed, don't worry about right now. And we also have some colors set here too. Perfect. Everything else is the same as the lesson, but you want to put your code inside line 44. Make sure to indent it so that it's in line with the for loop, or rather in line with the while loop so that it runs inside the while loop. So make sure it's in line with the for loop, but inside the while loop. Okay, perfect. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to get rid of this because I've just deleted the code for this. Now, there is a much harder way to make this, but we're not going to do that today. We might do that next week. But for now, this is what we're going to be doing. We're going to be making some circles, or rather a circle. Now, to make a circle, you type in Pygame, draw dot circle. You make sure it's attached to the window object, and then we're going to add in the color. Now, you can see that I've actually added colors here. So now, instead of typing in the coordinates, I can just type in red, and then that's it. I can be done with it. Now the next thing is going to be the position. So we're going to do X and Y because X is the center, Y is also the center. And then the size, which is going to be, let's make it 100. Why not? Okay. Now let's press play and see what that creates. Okay, we have a red circle. What I'm going to do, instead of making a curved, or rather a semicircle, I'm going to make a rectangle that covers the bottom and then add a circle in the middle so that we can create the illusion of having a Pokeball. So how do we create a rectangle? We use Pygame.draw.rect. Inside we attach to the window and then we add the coordinates, make sure that's white. We need 4 coordinates. So I've got the coordinates here already. So actually let's mess it up on purpose. And then that way you can see how I would change it in real time. Okay, let's just say that this is what we did. Okay, and there we go. Let's see what that creates. Okay, so you can see it creates a rectangle, but not really the rectangle we want. So I imagine that 200 is where it starts here somewhere. 180 is where it starts here. And then this is 160. And this might be 8. Actually, let's just confirm that. So if we make this 90, what changes? Okay, nothing changes that we can notice. Okay, let's change this instead. Let's do this to 180. Okay, nothing here changes, so we'll change that back. Let's change this to 190. Okay, good. So nothing. Actually, I think something did change here. Let's do that again. 260. See what happens. Okay, so you can see that 260 is controlling how far right it goes, but the bottom bit is still showing. So maybe it's this one. If I change it to maybe 100, what happens? Okay, yeah. So we can see that we can kind of figure out how to create our rectangle if we just play with it enough. Good. However, I'm going to paste in the correct coordinates right now. It should be 220, 200, 160, and 80, like this. That should be a perfect rectangle in the middle. Like so. I've actually need to make this a little bit bigger because I've changed this to be 100. So if we change this to 100, if we change this to 80, this should work. But we're going to keep that 100 and we're going to change this so that it's bigger. Let's do 240. Let's do 180. I think that should be correct. It is not correct, so maybe this should be 200. There we go. Okay, 200 goes that way, and then 180 goes to the right. So let's do maybe 200 here. Does that change anything? Okay, it does. And then this one is going to be 100. Okay, perfect. Very good. So now we're going to continue since we have what we need. We're going to make the circle. Pygame.draw.circle. We're going to attach it to the win object. We're going to make it black, like so. And then we're going to say that the line height is going to be... Actually, no, we need the position first. So the position is going to be X and Y, because that is the center. And then we need the size, which is going to be 100. And we also need... Let's see what happens if we do this. Okay, so now we need the line length, because this is a circle. So we're going to make the line length, let's make it 5. Let's see what happens. Okay. Good. Okay, wonderful. So you can see now that we've made the outline of the circle, like so. If I change to 10, we'll make the outline a bit bitter, or a bit a bit thicker rather. There we go. Now let's keep it like that because I actually kind of like the thicker one. Maybe we'll do 8. Good. Now the next thing we want to do is we want to add another circle, or rather, yes, a line actually. We want to add a line in the middle, so we'll do Pygame dot draw dot line, and we're going to attach to the window object. We're going to make it black, and the line is much simpler to do. So we'll do let's do 200. Let's see what happens here. 200, and then at the Y position, and we'll do 300 at the X position, and then we'll do we'll give it a line width of 8 just so it matches the outline. Let's see what happens. Okay, so this is not what I expected. Okay, so perhaps we should change this. This should be Y actually. There we go. Okay, so maybe we need to make this a little bit bigger. So this should be 400, and I think that should be correct. There we go, guys. It's actually protruding a little bit here, so I'm going to make this 398 instead. 398, and this should, there we go, create our Pokeball. Now the next thing we need to do is add our circles. So we're going to add circle here. We're going to attach this to the window object like we did before. Window object. We're going to make it, the first one's going to be black. It's going to be X and Y, and we're going to give it a size. Let's give it a size of 18. I think that should be okay. Okay, sure, I'm happy with that. Great, now we're going to do the same thing again, so we can just copy and paste this. Put it in here, and this time we're going to make it, let's do the other way around, the same way we did it for this one here. So we're just going to give it an outline rather than a fill. Let's give the outline, let's give it an 8 and see what happens. This should be white. That should be okay. Okay, so that is actually not what I wanted. So we'll do white. We'll switch the colors around, and this should fix our issue. Wonderful, there we go. So you can see we've created a Pokeball from scratch, like so. Now what I want you to do is I want you to find some simple images that you can recreate. You can recreate something like this. Maybe you can just change the colors around. The difficult thing for you here would be to recreate these stripes. These stripes are actually quite difficult to make. There are ways to do it by tricking the program, I guess would be the best way. But I would encourage you to do something simpler. So I'd encourage you to do the same thing, but maybe you can do a blue top and a yellow bottom. That might be something. Maybe you can add a pattern on the inside. So maybe you can add a circle that goes right here or a circle that goes right there. Maybe you can even try to spell your name at the bottom. That could be something pretty cool. And we can do that using lines. So I encourage you to customize this as best as you can. Not too many customizations. Either do one of the following. Either do your name or do some sort of pattern. Your name would probably be harder, but I think that'll probably be a better use of time because you'll get a really good understanding for the coordinate system. So that's everything for this homework video. I'll see you guys in the next video or the next lesson. Have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful week. Goodbye.